Olá, bem-vindo a mais um episódio do Start Talks, uma conversa com especialistas que trazem temas essenciais sobre educação. Meu nome é André Barros, eu sou o Head Pedagógico do Start Young Bilingual School e hoje eu tenho a honra de receber aqui Sean Covey, uma voz influente na área da liderança e desenvolvimento pessoal, com uma profunda compreensão do ambiente educacional. A Sean adaptou os princípios dos 7 hábitos das pessoas altamente eficazes para o universo de jovens e educadores. Autor de obras como 7 hábitos dos Adolescentes Altamente Eficazes, ele tem se dedicado a empoderar estudantes, professores e administradores escolares a cultivarem habilidades essenciais para o sucesso acadêmico, pessoal e futuro. Estamos ansiosos para explorar suas perspectivas sobre os desafios e as oportunidades dentro do cenário educacional atual. Welcome, Sean.
Thank you, André. Good to be with you.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
The Leader in Me program,
Yes.
which are based on your books,
Yeah.
They have had a real impact on young people.
Yes.
What's the main message or value you hope young readers take away?
Yeah. So I've written many books. I've written The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. My father wrote, he's Stephen R. Covey, wrote the original 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which has been, the best-selling business book of all time. And so I wrote a teenage version, put in cartoons, talked about their stories, dealing with parents and school and friends and dating and all that stuff, right? And then I wrote one called The 7 Habits of Happy Kids, right? With the same principles, these powerful habits like be proactive and think win-win, written for, young elementary, primary age kids, right? And then I've written a number of other books, but the main message I'm trying to get across for teenagers and for kids is the whole idea that you've got incredible worth and potential. And when I wrote the teen book on my computer, all 100,000 words, I put a little note on the top of my computer that said hope, H-O-P-E, hope. I want them to read this and say, I have hope, I'm okay, I'm going to be all right. The book is full of stories of their own peers, right, dealing with life, and teaches them these habits and how, if you practice these habits, they can be so helpful to you, right? But the main thing is I want them to feel like, I'm okay, I'm normal, other people have problems like me, and if I can practice these principles, there's hope. Things can get better, things will improve, and I'm in control of my life, and I can determine my future.
Yeah, teenagers, they have this tendency, they need to talk to somebody, and sometimes they don't know how to do it.
Yes,
yeah?
totally.
And
yep.
Considering the significant changes teenagers face today, because we have social media, it's a generation like we've never seen before, because they are growing up in a setting of social media and
Yes.
internet on the palm of their hands. Do you think there should be an update on the 7 habits,
Yeah.
or they can work with any generation?
Yeah. Well, I've updated the book for social media. Because it's such a different age, right? It's a digital age, it's a social media age. Call it lots of things, knowledge worker age. But I think the challenges that teenagers face today are unlike any other generation. I think that social media is good to a point. It can be really helpful, but most kids overuse it, and there's a direct correlation between unhappiness and direct use of social media, right? If you use it too much, there's a scale that shows, happiness level like this. The more social media you use, it goes down like this, and it really causes a lot of problems. And if you use a lot of different platforms, your unhappiness increases. If you use too much time on it, unhappiness increases. So it's really important that kids, are aware of that. And my book addresses these issues. The book is based on principles. By principles, I mean things timeless, universal, never go out of style. Things like responsibility, initiative, vision, prioritization. Some things are more important than others. Abundance, like one of the habits is called think win-win. And it's the idea that if your friend succeeds, it doesn't mean it takes away from you, right?
It's my nephew's favorite. Yeah, he loves it. It's a win-win situation with my sister.
Okay, yeah. That's good. So I think these principles are timeless. And the 7 habits have never been more relevant than they are today. With the increased, all these new challenges that teenagers face. I think for young women in particular, it's really hard because you're living your life on stage, social media stage. And there's lots of likes and you're comparing yourself to other people and you feel it's impossible to be perfect. Have the perfect body, have the best test scores, you're perfectly popular, you know what I mean? And you feel like everyone else is succeeding and you're failing. And so it makes it really hard. So these, I feel like the 7 Habits principles are popular everywhere. This book is universal. And it's as popular in China as it is here in Brazil, as it is in the Netherlands, as it is in America, because it's based on these principles that don't go out of style.
Different cultures, different ways, but the same principles.
Yeah, it's the same principles. Yeah.
Okay. So you wrote the book, The 6 Most Important Decisions You'll Ever Make.
Yes.
It focuses on really key decisions for young adults.
Yeah.
What would you say is the most underrated or overlooked decision for this age group?
Well, the ones you think about all the time are friends and school, right? They're top of mind. Dating, relationships are so key. Maybe the most underrated one is your relationship with your parents.
Yeah.
And because there's a choice, and you can kind of choose to think your parents are idiots, which they are sometimes, right? Yeah. And ignore them and not take their advice and not accept them or accept their love. And versus saying, you know what, my parents aren't perfect and they do annoy me sometimes, but they've got some wisdom and no one cares more about me than they do. And so I'm going to choose to have a good relationship with my parents. Yeah. And I really think it's a choice. And if you do that, good things will come from that, right?
It's hard for teenagers to see their parents as human beings.
Yeah.
Because they tend to see them as heroes or perfect people, and then they realize they are not. They have flaws and light and shade like every human being.
Right. Well, you're probably a perfect parent, right?
Yeah. No, I'm not. Nobody is. Good.
Yeah,
but what advice would you give to parents then?
Yeah, to parents,
as I see, I don't think parents understand the environment which their kids are growing.
Yeah, sure.
Growing up, so.
Yeah, so a couple thoughts. One would be just to remember that the most important work you do is in the walls of your own home. It really is. And I heard a saying by a great man one time who said, no other success can compensate for failure in the home. Wow. And in other words, it's your most important thing. And so make sure you give it your top priority, because it's so easy to get locked into your career and your kids become something on the side, right? Yeah. Just raise yourself. Good luck. And
they really are doing this on the internet, which is super dangerous.
Yeah. So I think staying close to your kids, making it your most important priority, your family, I think is key. And I think a second one is to really listen. Learn how to listen. This is habit 5 of the 7 habits. So seek first to understand, then to be understood. We always want them to understand us, right? Yeah. Make sure you understand this. When I was your age, this is what I did, and this is what you should do. That's important. But it starts with seeking first to understand, like, how are things going? And really listening. Tell me about your friends. Why I can see you're really anxious. Tell me why you're anxious. Yeah. And listening, the best way to listen is to reflect what they're feeling and saying in your own words. So one time, I played American football. Okay. And my son was an American football player too, and I trained him, and I wanted him to become great, right? Mm-hmm. And he came to me one day and he said, Dad, I decided I don't want to play football anymore. He was 14 at the time.
How did you feel?
And I felt just awful, and it ruined my world. And the next few weeks I tried to persuade him, and I realized at one point I wasn't listening. And so I started to listen to him. I just said, tell me what's going on. And he slowly opened up. He told me how he felt, he's smaller than all the other kids. And the year before he got beat up pretty badly, right? Because it's tackle, collision football. It's a violent sport. Yeah. He told me about how I wouldn't understand because when I was his age, I was big for my grade. Mm-hmm. And this took a while. It opened up, and I understood him for the first time, and it gave me real empathy for his situation. And I said, to him, if you want to play football, great. If you don't, that's great too. And he said, "Really, Dad?" And I said, "Really? Yeah. You don't have to play if you don't want to. There are lots of things to do." But he ended up playing football. But the important thing was it preserved our relationship because I took the time to listen. So I just think as a parent, you've got to take time to connect with your kids and take time to listen to them and really understand where they're coming from and their challenges, right?
More listening, less imposing.
Yep.
Yeah. For those who feel stuck or paralyzed by indecision, because you see that a lot with teenagers.
Yeah.
They feel paralyzed, they don't know who to talk to. What's your main piece of advice for getting started on making these important steps? Because I think once they start, then it's one thing, but what's your advice for this first step?
Yeah, I think, in terms of making decisions as a teen, don't worry about being perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Just do your best. Keep trying. Course correct, right? With the habits, I always say, which of the habits is the most important one to start with? And I always say, well, it's the one you're having the biggest challenge living right now. Start with that one. It might be sharpening the saw, just habit 7, which is the idea of renewing yourself on a regular basis. You might be burning yourself out, right? Because you're going too hard and too fast and not taking time for you, right? So that might be the biggest habit. Or it might be habit 1, which is be proactive. And it's the idea that stop being a victim, right? That's what be proactive means, is get in the driver's seat of your life. Stop being a passenger and get in charge of your own life. Start driving your own life and take initiative, right? And responsibility. And if you're unhappy, take responsibility, right? If you're struggling with this, take responsibility. So that's a good one to start with too. But tell me a little bit more what you mean by indecision.
I mean, I think when I think about schools and when I talk to teachers, I always tell them that we have to listen. First, we have to listen to this generation, and we have to empower them to make good decisions, to have critical thinking, and to really analyze things, not overthink them, but really analyze and talk to people and see different opinions and different points of view, so you can make it your own, own decision. But sometimes the teachers say, okay, but the parents want perfection, and then what do you think is the role of the school in this middle ground between parents and kids?
Okay. Well, I think for kids to make good decisions, the worst thing is just to talk to yourself, get inside your own head, right? Repeat, everything. And I think it's a combination of things, right? I think it's getting counsel and advice from friends. It's like a personal board of directors, right? Yeah. Your best friends will have some good advice.
Or not.
Or not. It's got to be balanced, right? They might have something to throw in there into the mix, and I think listening to teachers and getting some counsel from them. Most schools have great counselors, right? You can speak with. I think ultimately your parents probably know the most, and care about you the most. Probably your best source to go to. But the biggest problem with indecision is perfectionism. Yeah. And so you got to kind of put that aside and say, I'm just going to, the decision you make isn't going to be the end of the world, right? So make the decision, and if it's wrong, just fix it. Course correct.
Yeah. We learn by making mistakes, and that's
totally.
And I think parents sometimes they forget that they are who they are because of the mistakes they made and the things they got right. So you have to let your son fail in some point, because then they grow from this. They grow from their mistakes. Yeah. So those kids they're just starting their journey of self-discovery and growth. What would be an advice for them? They're just starting.
Yeah, just starting. Well, we call it, the second habit is a really good one. Begin with the end in mind.
Yeah.
right? You're just kind of starting out. It's important to have goals and always to write them down, because a goal not written is only a wish.
Yeah.
And so I learned the importance of that when I had a really bad 7th grade experience.
Oh, you did?
When I was in 7th grade, middle school they call it in the U.S. And then what changed for me is I learned to set goals. And I had a journal, a diary. And I'd write down my goals in my diary. There were school goals, there were fitness goals, don't beat up my brother goal, be nice to my family members. And I remember the power of that, and how I became self-aware because I was writing in a journal. And I became self-aware because I started setting goals. And so I think a great place to start in your journey, seriously, is to think about, what do I want? What's important to me? How do I want to do in school? Think about 4 areas of life. Your body, how do you want to treat your body? Your mind, right? It's kind of your academics, your schooling. Your heart, relationships, and then your spirit, which is kind of what motivates you, what inspires you. And you might want to have a goal in each area, a body goal, which is, maybe you're an athlete and you want to do, make the team, all right? Try out and make the team. Academically, you want to get a certain GPA, right? You want to score so well.
So that's how
Socially develop new friends, right? Spiritually, maybe it's, reading inspiring literature, or finding music you love, or getting out in nature. You might do that through, your own way of doing that, right? But so that'd be my recommendation, honestly, is if you don't have a written goal right now, if you're a teenager, I think try doing it. Write it down.
The Leader in Me program helps them with the...
Yes, yeah. So Leader in Me, is teaches these habits, right? And it also gives you a chance to practice them, because Leader in Me schools, the whole idea is let the kids run the school, give them leadership responsibilities and opportunities. And so, my kids went to a Leader in Me school, and they learned to set goals in the school, right? So that's what Leader in Me schools do, is they say, hey, we want everyone to have a WIG, a wildly important goal, right? as opposed to a PIG, which is a pretty important goal.
Pretty important.
It's got to be wildly important.
Okay.
And they teach kids to set a goal, have a scoreboard, meet with somebody on a regular basis to see how you're doing. I mean, what greater skill could you learn in life, honestly?
In start schools, we look at performance as a general. So what do they want to do in their lives? If it's entrepreneurship, or they want to go to a university that they've been dreamed of for all their academic life. So we motivate them to always be the protagonists of their own lives. So.
Yeah, it's terrific. Yeah, I think START is terrific that way, and it is. That's part of the beginning with the end in mind. Is what do you love to do, right?
So we have students that they want to be politicians. We have students who collect old cars and they buy and sell cars. So we have different kinds of students.
Yeah, wonderful.
And they want to
we call it the 8th habit.
Yeah.
You got the 7 habits, and the 8th habit is find your voice. And it means, find out what you love to do. And it's, your voice is, what are you good at, right? What do you love to do? What do you feel like you should do? Sometimes your conscience, right, will kind of head you a certain direction, like I feel like I need to be the one that helps bring our family together, for example, right? Or I have a friend that his mother died of cancer. So at a young age, he felt like, I want to cure cancer. And now he's on the cutting edge of new discoveries, right, for cancer. So it's, what am I good at? What do I love to do? What is life asking me, or what do I feel like I should do? And then where can I make money, or where can I make a living? What will be valued by the world? And the intersection of those 4 things is your voice. And so I think it's great to does that at a young age. Like, what do you love to do? Collect cars, be an entrepreneur, be a nurse, right? And then pursue it.
How has the response been from teenagers? Have you talked to a lot of teenagers? You received this kind of feedback before or after the book? Or?
Yeah. When I wrote the book the first time, I didn't know this would be successful for teens, right? Because my dad wrote the book, and I thought, you know what, why can't this apply to teenagers? This is a business book written to old people like us.
Yeah, it works. And
Yeah,
it works.
and then I thought, why can't it apply to young kids? And so I wrote it, and the kids loved it. And part of it is because I got hundreds of their stories, right? It's a book written by teenagers, really. I just collected them and put them together. And so I get really good response from it. It's really, kids find it helpful. It's written to them. It's not written to their parents, right?
But have you talked to kids from all around the world? Or?
Yes, all around the world.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I wrote the teen book, I had focus groups and kids from all over the world involved in it. So I thought this is not going to just be a U.S.-based book. Yeah. It's going to be a global book. Any
stories that you want to share with us that you received from these teenagers?
Yeah, well, so one girl wrote me, and I have about 1,000 letters that kids have written back and saying, thank you, and probably more than that, probably 10,000 letters. But so one young lady, she wrote me and she said, hey, Sean, I got to tell you that your book has really changed my life. She said, I have a friend, she was a 16-year-old girl. I have a friend who I can't stand because I'm in drama, and I sing, and so does she, and we're always competing against each other, and she has this high-pitched laugh that makes me want to throw up. Right. And I've always felt like I've been competing with her, and she's taking away from me every time she wins something. And she said, and I read your book, and I read Think Win-Win. Mm-hmm. And you basically said, you know what, it's not like a pie where if they get a big piece, there's less for you. It's not what life is. Yeah. Life's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Yeah. And their success doesn't take away from you. And just you win, and you want them to win too. And so she said, I started to think win-win, and she said, it just changed me completely because I thought, I'm not competing with you. You're my friend, and sometimes I'll win, sometimes you'll win, so what? And she goes, and I've developed such a good relationship with her, and her laugh doesn't bother me anymore. And she goes, just thinking differently has really just changed me, and I feel so much happier and less stressed. And I thought, that's powerful, because that's just one idea, right? Yeah. And it's a true principle. You can feel when people are abundant to you, Andre. I'm sure you've had people in your life where you do something good and you feel their happiness for you, right? It's called abundance. And so those are the I
could go on. It's a sign of a true friend. Yeah.
It's a sign of a true friend, exactly. Yeah. But so many stories from kids. Kids that have written mission statements, right? Oh, yeah. They talk about how much it helped them get focused in life by writing a personal mission statement, like a constitution, right?
So what is next for The Leader in Me?
Yeah, well, The Leader in Me, we have it in the START program. We have it in Somos. There's, I think, about 1,400 schools here in Brazil doing it.
Schools, yeah.
I'd like to get it to, it won't go to every school in Brazil,
it's
but
impossible.
I'd love to get it to 50% of them, 25% of them. The public schools need this so bad. Mm-hmm. It can be so helpful to them. Yeah. Employers today want more. They want kids that show up on time, that adapt, that are flexible, that get along well, right? Yeah. And they're asking more of our schools. They're saying, you need to teach these life skills, these leadership skills. So what do I want, Leader in Me? What's next for Leader in Me? We hope to get it all throughout Brazil, all throughout the whole world. We have it in Pakistan, it's in India, it's in China, it's in the Middle East, it's in Africa, it's in all throughout Europe and the United States. But we believe it can be the most successful school program of all time, and it should be. And I say that humbly, Andre, because we didn't find this. I mean, we didn't invent this. We found a school that was about to be shut down and developed this Leader in Me process using the 7 habits and became the #1 school in America doing this. And now it's spreading across the world. So we feel like this is like a wonder drug. It's like penicillin. Yeah. It can help kids. And it's not a U.S. solution. This is a global solution. So I'm a little ambitious, but I think I'd love to see this get to every country and really deeply in every country.
It's a great program, and students really value every aspect of it.
Yeah.
Well, Sean, thank you very much for your
Thank you,
interview
André.
here.
Yeah.
Obrigado, gente, por mais Start Talk. E a gente termina por aqui. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
André.